Hey, this is IGN editor Charles Onyett here with IGN Video's Brennan Ayub.
What's going on, guys?
And we're here to take a look at the latest from Deus Ex 3, Eidos Montreal's sequel to the much revered Deus Ex franchise.
One of my favorite games of all time is the original Deus Ex.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the original too. Now we should point out this is not being handled by the original developer, obviously. And this is not a sequel to those games, it's actually a prequel to everything. So this predates even the original. This is not J.C. Denton we're seeing here, who is the protagonist in the first game.
Who is this handsome devil?
This guy is Adam Jensen, and obviously he's had some work done on his arms there. One of the themes of the game is that he's sort of been forced into this kind of cybernetic upgrade thing. Now these first scenes we're seeing, we've actually seen some of this before in some footage that came out earlier. Here in this city, if you just want to go back to that multi-tiered city there, I believe that is Shanghai, which we heard about a little bit before. This is supposed to be kind of a near future world. It's like 2027.
Right. But that's multiple cities confirmed, right? I mean, we've got Shanghai, we've got Detroit, so we can only expect that our protagonist is going to be globetrotting a little bit, right?
There will be a little bit of professional vacationing, yes.
Fantastic.
I believe so. And then if we stop right here, we have a shot. I'm assuming that's not Jensen.
Unless he has some childbearing hips on him.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a character in the game who we haven't seen a full reveal on yet, but with some kind of stealth power, so obviously that's going to play a role in the game.
And dual-wielding machine pistols, it looks like.
Yeah, and dual-wielding some guns there. So
and that might lend itself to this game having a little bit more of an action feel than the previous Deus Exes.
Okay, and here we go, yeah, social upheaval stuff. As we'll see later, this is actually part of Detroit, which is sort of Jensen's home base. Or actually, that's Shanghai. I should point that out.
This is Shanghai?
Yeah, I believe that is Shanghai. That's not Detroit.
Okay. Noted.
But yeah, and we get, like, here's a part where we haven't seen before, and I believe this is Detroit if we stop here and, like, just pull back a little bit to where it was going through the streets. Like, so we can see there's kind of civil unrest sort of surrounding about, like, if you go back to that news podium that's got the briefing going across, we can see rioters against human augmentation. So people are revolting sort of against this trend of modifying yourself. And you can see a lot of like Blade Runner type influences here. And, you know, I think it's interesting that they went to Detroit just because Detroit is so, I mean, it's not doing well at this point. And here we go, it's this huge metropolis that's, you know, serving as sort of part of this bed of human modification.
Yeah, very interesting. And who's this shadowy figure?
Yeah, if we pause here. So we got Jensen on the right. He's got the crazy sunglasses on that have, there's no support on the ears. And I don't know, like those things are retractable, but I don't know where the lenses actually go when they retract.
Yeah.
I guess they could go into his head
it's
or something.
2027, dude. I mean, it could be anything, really.
That's a good point. I think this is his boss, basically. So this is like Jensen's home base. He serves as a security guard, basically, a special security guard for this corporation that's doing cybernetic modification. So here he's just sort of receiving orders.
You know, it's very interesting. If you look on the wall and the background right here, you see a painting, which is sort of the representation of that first shot in the trailer where he's being operated on by those, you know, those Renaissance-era surgeons or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's true. A little bit of action here in this scene.
Okay.
If we back up, so I mentioned earlier that Jensen has sort of been forced into this modification thing. And here, if we pause right here, we can see Jensen does not actually have the sunglasses around his face.
No augmentations.
Which would indicate that this is pre-augmentation. So this could very well be the event that kind of threw him into, well, you know, wherever, the need to get his arms fixed and his face all sunglassed out. And then that guy clearly has a problem with him, and wham, right in the side of the head.
He just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, also, what's up? That guy doesn't even look like he has any skin.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just got, like, exposed muscle all over the place.
Yeah, that must be, like, the inner layer of a cybernetic, like, you know, skin graft or something like that.
Yeah, he also must have been
cool.
stealthing up because Jensen looked like he had absolutely no idea that that was happening. So it looks like a little bit of an ambush.
Caught him by surprise on that one, and he continues to kick his ass.
Yes. There's much of that. Also, we see a female character in the background. I'm not actually sure who she is.
Right. Okay.
But she clearly has feelings for Jensen. All right, here we go. Rebuilding scene.
Yeah, here we are. These cool distortion effects. We're piecing them back together, kind of like RoboCop.
Yeah. So he's got some pretty heavy modifications. Yeah. Okay. And here we're actually getting into some gameplay. Now, like one of the things about Deus Ex was so cool was just about how you could approach like every battlefield and just go at it a whole bunch of different ways depending on how you've like modded out your skills and stuff like that. So here we have confirmation, I mean we see in video that Jensen can actually stealth. Although, when he comes up on this guard here, it doesn't look like he actually does anything to him. It looks like that guard is actually getting remotely tased through his head.
Well, it looks like he's hacking into a terminal, and whoever or whatever system he's hacking, it sort of takes control of him and causes him to kill himself. And then he turns the gun on himself and blows his brains out.
And yeah, so, I mean, we can assume there will also be a hacking minigame. And there's his sword move.
Yeah,
which
pretty
is
sick.
Which is pretty awesome, and that is just sort of coming up behind someone, so it looks like he may have stealthed his way up there and just sort of executed them with kind of a stealth takedown, if you will. And we actually have another power there. It looks like Jensen can dislocate his own fingers and sort of move them around his robot hand at that point. But then he does this.
Like
he
a
just
grapple
completely
claw.
Spins that guy by the head, and I'm assuming that was his sunglasses that he destroyed.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't his head.
Just sort of scrambled his brains a little bit.
Okay, here we have more sort of art influences, like Blade Runner was earlier. This tank looks very Ghost in the Shell, if you look at it like this. And again, a near future world, but obviously they've taken some liberties with how things are going to develop. And that's actually a cool power if we want to go back to that. So he has the front spikes on his...
on his forearms.
On his forearm, but that also extends backwards into that blade. So it looks like he'll be pretty versatile in the battlefield. Okay, and that guy who is just holding him, I believe that is the guy with the chain gun on his arm.
Yes, yeah, those grenades, or the telltale sign right there.
Yeah, and he's clearly been doing a lot of work on himself. I think it's safe to say he's not a good guy.
Yeah, as he punches you 15 yards across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that chain gun again. Crushing hammer punch.
I mean, it also looks like Jensen, just because well, here, I'll just focus on this for now, but yeah, he jumps out of that plane when it hits the wall. He's got some other power that will allow him to jump from great heights and actually slow his fall with whatever kind of, like, electric covering that is. Oh, and this is the coolest part of the video, actually, right at the end. So Jensen has the ability, apparently, to go up to walls and smash holes in them and pull people out from within. So he can see, he has some power that allows him to see through walls.
So he sees through this wall. Maybe we got some destructible environments in this game, perhaps?
That would be pretty cool,
Maybe you can punch through walls and structures and...
I don't know if it's going to be Red Faction Guerrilla type of destruction, though.
Right.
That would probably be asking a little too much.
A little bit goes a long way when we're talking about destructible.
And then coming up here, we got the release date, which we did not know before, which is early 2011. Where this is on PS3, X360, and PC. Anyway, so that's all we got for now. That was a pretty long trailer with quite a bit of info in it, but hopefully we see some gameplay footage soon. We'll look for that at E3, and for more, just check out IGN.com.